Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. As you can see right here, Educational Fun Center. We have YouTube's. I have a business page on Facebook. Please go and check it out. You will find a lot more information, not just about IELTS. Please click like and subscribe. And if you like what I'm doing. So, what I'm doing is I'm talking about the spoken part of the IELTS exam. Now, last time we went over what you should expect in the IELTS exam. So, there's going to be three sets of questions. First one, part one, is all about you. No matter what the question is, it's not really going to be about other people, other things. It's going to be about you. All about you. It's going to last about 5 minutes. It's gonna, it's gonna last about 5 minutes. So each question is going to be a short answer. Part two, you will be given 1 minute to prepare. You'll be given a cue card, and you can take. They'll give you a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen, writing utensil. You can take note about what you want to say. You then will be given 1 to 2 minutes to speak on that topic. And the topic is always going to be describing, describing something, a book, a movie, an event, somewhere you want to go, a museum, art, something. You're going to have to describe it. And that is very crucial to remember. Part one, all about you. For example, what's your hometown? What's the name of your hometown? Can you describe your hometown? Okay. You, not somebody else's hometown, your hometown. Very crucial to remember this. Very critical. Part two, describe something. Describe a piece of art that you saw. And it's going to tell you some things that you may want to mention. Part three is going to be based on the part two topic you just did. So if it's art, it's going to remain on art. If part two was art, they're not going to do a vacation. Okay? They're going to stay on the same topic. So they don't throw you for a loop. Okay? They're going to keep on the same topic. Part three, well, another point to remember. Part one, like I said, 5 minutes. They're going to ask you a bunch of questions randomly. So let's take, for example, your name. There's like, I think, 9 questions about your name. They're not going to ask all 9 questions. They're going to ask one, maybe two, but not more than 3 questions about your name. And they're going to move on to another topic. Maybe jewelry, maybe a book, maybe weather, maybe history. But the point is, it's going to be random questions. You don't know what questions you're going to get. Very critical to remember that. There's over 300 questions, possible questions between all three parts. You cannot remember all 300 questions unless you have a photographic memory. And I don't know anybody that has one. I've never met somebody like that. And I'm 56 years old. Okay. So keep that in mind. Part three. Yes, it's going to be based on part two. But the type of question are going to be about your opinion about something. How do you believe? What do you believe about said thing? So it's going to be more deeper. You're going to have to explain more. You're going to have to talk more. It's not a short yes or no answer. Never answer any of these questions with a simple yes or no. That that will get you a 4.0 mark. I guarantee it. Okay. You have to make sentences, coherent sentences that answer the question and give more detail. Part one, you're going to only have about 3, maybe 4 sentences to get out, and they're going to move on to the next question. Part two, you have 2 minutes to speak. That's going to be a lot more sentences. Fill up that time. Do not go below 1 minute, or you will get a negative score. Part three, 5-minute time limit. Okay. So if they give you a question you know how to answer very well, and you can keep talking on it for an extended amount of time, do so. This is your chance to shine and to control the situation. If you don't want other questions that you may not know the answer to and may struggle and therefore may make a mistake, but you have one question that you, I know this one. Stay on that question for as long as possible. If they cut you off, that's fine. Like I said before, if they stop you, no issue, no negative mark. Keep talking till they cut you off. Okay? They'll cut you off when they think that they've had enough. Part three, make them cut you off. Make them. Keep talking. Make sense. Be coherent, but keep talking. Now, I have some questions pulled up here, and I'm going to kind of show you what I'm talking about. Let's see. I don't want that one. Yeah, here we go. Okay. So let me show you kind of what I'm talking about. There it is. So, for example, okay, let's go all the way back here, up here. See, there's 42 topics. These are just the topics. Reading, weekend, sleep, free, newspaper, fruit, math, TV program, name, study, work, major, hometown. So each one of these 42 have at least 4 questions. Some have 12 or 15 questions. So just in that alone for part one, that's a lot. Now, let's look at name. Who gave you your name? Does your name have any particular or special meaning? Do you like your name? In your country, do people feel that their name is very important? Would you like to change your name? Is it easy to change your name? So these are typical kinds of questions. And as you can see, they are all about you. Nobody else but you. So they should be easy to answer. Now I've got them in a PDF form, which makes it much easier to be able to answer. Now, this first question, who gave you your name? It's going to be a very short one. My parents gave me my name. My father, to be exact. You could say a little bit more about that one. Add another sentence. Maybe something like, my father really liked the name that he chose for me, and my mother apparently liked it too. Now, does your name have any particular or special meaning? Now, look at this. You put your name here and here. So, Jeff means knowledge, and Jeff means accumulation. Not true, but just an example. So I guess my parents wanted to tell me that being knowledgeable depends on accumulation. You see, they put a lot of pressure on my shoulders with this name. So as you can see, three proper sentences here. One, two, three. Okay? Three good sentences. This is the kind of sentences you want. Now, when you're practicing, you want to make sure that you stay at about 30 seconds. So you can time yourself. Make 3 or 4 sentences that you would normally use and time it. If you're over 30 seconds, cut one sentence out. If you're under 30 seconds, add one. So it's going to depend on how fast you talk. As you can tell, a native speaker talks quickly. A non native speaker has a tendency of speaking much slower. That's fine. Practice it. So here's another one. Do you like your name? I quite like my name, and I won't change it for the world because it is unique. I don't think that anyone else in China, Vietnam, Korea, wherever, has the same name. It's part of my identity, and it is meaningful to me. So again, 3 proper, good sentences on topic, and they made it a little bit more complex by adding and, a comma, because, okay? They used a little bit bigger words, bigger words, and, oops, okay? Um, so you want to do that. You don't want to use huge words because they're going to know if that is the kind of words you typically use. So when you walk in, they're going to ask you for your ID and everything, going to, you know, shoot the breeze, so to speak, to kind of relax you. During that time, they're not going to be judging you. for the exam, but they're going to get to realize, do you use small sentences and small words, or do you use big sentences and big words? So, right from the get go, right from the beginning, when you walk in the room, use the language that you normally would use. Stay with it all the way through. So, I would choose a little bit bigger words, a little bit bigger sentences. Now, if you're a really good speaker, it's not going to matter. They're going to see that you're a good speaker, that you're a 9.0. Okay? They're going to know that. They're going to see that. They're going to hear it. Okay? So stay with the language that you normally would use. Now, I want to move up to part two and part three. I'm still, as you can see, I'm still adding part one. So here's part two. This is what I was talking about. Okay? Part two and part three. So, describe a childhood friend you have lost touch with. You should say, and this is going to be the cue card. This is what they're going to hand you. It's going to tell you what you're going to talk about, and then it's going to give you some ideas of what you should talk about. Where you met, how you spent time together, what you liked about your friend, and why you think you have lost touch with them. Now, if you take an actual class with me, we will dissect this a lot more. But for now, here's a model answer. I'd like to tell you about Giorgio, my old school friend. I met him in primary school. We were assigned to sit at the same desk and we hit it off in no time at all. He turned out to be quite keen on video games, just as I was. So they talk about their friend and some things that they liked about each other and how well they got along right away. Then they talk about we would spend days either at my place or his place. They talked about what did. What they really liked about Giorgio was his determination. And then they go in. I guess the reason we grew apart was a natural one. And they start talking about that. Now, notice here, okay, you should mention where well, they first say childhood friend you have lost touch with, okay? They don't say, I'm going to tell you about a childhood friend I lost touch with. They jump right into it. I'd like to tell you about Giorgio, my old school friend. Boom, jump right into it. They get right down to it. And everything they answered, every one of those, but they didn't mention the question. Don't repeat the question. No need. Jump right into answering it. They will know that you're answering that question. We would spend days either at my place or his place. How you spent time together. We would spend days at his or my place. What you liked about your friend. What I really liked about Giorgio was his determination. Oh, the reason you grew apart. I guess the reason we grew apart was a natural one. Boom, jump right into it. Get right down to it. Okay. So these are just like 10-minute videos to give you an idea of what to expect. Now, here is part three question. Who do people have strong connections with? Their friends, or their family and why. So see, they're still staying on friends. Here's some more. Nowadays, people tend to start families later in their lives. Why? They're talking about friends and family. Friends and family. These are the part three questions based on the part two. So once again, part two, you're describing things. Part three, see how long this answer is? It's an opinion. This is a pretty tough question, and it should be looked at a a case by case basis. Boom, their opinion. Now they're going to back it up. Some cultures have stronger family ties, whether it's their immediate or extended family. They have family meetings and dinner regularly. They have more respect for the elder members of their community as well. Other bond stronger with their friends, either childhood ones or those from school, college, or work. One thing is true. While we can't choose our family, we can definitely pick friends. So it might be safe to say that the latter tends to be stronger as it is based on common interest. Now, as you can see, that is more about opinion. Now, if you come and take a class with me or one of my teachers, we don't go we go through all of the questions yet, just to get you familiar with the type of questions and how to answer them. But we don't focus just on giving a modeled answer. We teach you how to answer any question whatsoever, no matter what the question is. Do you like oranges or apples better? How do you answer that? That's not in the list of questions, but every few months they change the set of questions. And like I said before, there's over 300 possible questions. How are you going to memorize a model answer for each and every single question? Impossible. But if you know that part one are questions about you, and you know how to give a basic answer about you, you're going to ace part one. If you can describe an event, a book, a food item, a restaurant, a vacation, if you can describe something, you're going to ace part two. If you can talk about your opinion, give an opinion, and give two statements to back up your opinion, you're gonna ace part three. It doesn't matter what the question is. The question is irrelevant. Doesn't matter. And I state this all the time. If you can give your opinion about something, you're gonna ace part three. We all know we can talk beautifully about ourselves. Part one should be an automatic ace. Part two is a little bit more difficult because you've got to describe something. But there's a method to describing things. Part three is even harder yet because you got to give your opinion. But once again, there's a method to giving opinions. State your opinion. Doesn't have to be factful. It can be a made up opinion because an opinion is just that, an opinion. Means nothing. But back up your opinion, real or fake, with two facts, two examples. Give two examples, okay? If you know your grammar, you know your pronunciation, if you know sentence structure, if you can do um, some regular short sentences and some complex sentences, mix it up, use some smaller words, some bigger words, some middle range words, mix it up. If you can bounce between your tenses, past, present, future, you know, change it up. If you can demonstrate your level of English, and that's what this is all about, 100%, demonstrating your level of understanding of the English language, you will get a 7 to 9 band score by doing these things. Come take a class with me, and I can get you to the 7 to 9 band score. I don't shoot for anything less than 7. I want you to get at least a 7. Less than 7, I want you to retake the test, restudy, and try it again. I want you to get the 7. The higher you can get, the more beneficial it's going to be to you. Doesn't do you a bit of good to get a 6.5, a 6.0. No good. Colleges might let you in, like the lower end colleges, but you get a 7, an 8, you're going to get into the college that you want, more likely. So, doesn't do me any good to try and focus on how to get a 6.5. I focus on how to get that 8.0. How are you going to get that 8.0? By using simple sentences, simple language, you're going to get a 5 to 6.5. That's all you're going to get. But to show you how to make the complex sentences using the bigger words, how to answer any question, no matter what it is, that's going to get you the higher score. That's what we focus on at my education school. That's what all of our tutors focus on. Thank you for listening. This one has been a little bit longer than I intended, but hopefully you liked it and you can come and check out our school. Thank you.